So Dini tachnun. So Shilas, when do you say tachnun, when do you not? So we're going to be talking about bris milah. So there's a lot of different minhagim when we say tachnun, when we don't. And the Rivash, one of the Rishonim, already writes in the Shuvah, it's the reason why there's so many different minhagim agabe tachnun and different places of different things, because the whole tachnun is only reshus. It's not a chiyuv. That's why there's so many different minhagim. What do we do by tachnun? And he brings there the Gemara. There are different. You see the Makuris in the Gemara. The Gemara says that you see from the Gemara that they said tachnun. The Gemara doesn't talk out clearly about how that there's a chiyuv to say tachnun, but you see the Agav. He says that the certain Amironim came to a certain place and they didn't feel sapayim. So the Rivash brings a story in the Gemara that was the wife of Rabbi Eliezer. Wife of Rabbi Eliezer was the sister of Rabbi Gamliel. So the two of them got into a fight with each other. Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Gamliel. And that's the fight? Yeah, some sort of they got into some achlikas. And discussion, a heated discussion. And it was causing her husband Rabbi Eliezer a lot of tsar. And she knew that if her husband said davens and said doesn't feel sapayim, and davens to the Eibusher because of the tsar he's having, it's not going to be good for her brother. So she made sure every day that she always distracted him and made sure he didn't say tachnun. So the Rivash wanted to bring out a rai from the story. How could Rabbi Eliezer allow his wife to distract him from saying tachnun? It says must be that because it's only reshus, and that's why he wasn't so makbid, and his wife was able to distract him from saying tachnun. And it says in the end he didn't work. One day he managed to say tachnun, and Rabbi Gamliel passed away. And this is in the first Maramakin that Rivash writes in some tough yud beis. Davar zeh shenafil sapayim ein chiyuvas hatfilah. It's not a chiyuv of tefillah. El shahaya minhag gam b'mei Razal. Even in the times of Razal, this in the Gemara. Times of the Gemara, it was a minhag. Kameish muskar, like it says in the Gemara in Bab Netzion, in Perek Hazav, Lafman Tes, that Amrinan ima shalim. The visu de Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer's wife, Achse de Rabbi Gamliel Havas. She was a sister of Rabbi Gamliel. Kol yema lei have a shavka leila mifala api. Every day she wouldn't allow her husband to do nefila sapayim because she was worried she was worried for her brother.
What did you do? You didn't go to shul? You didn't go to shul? Daven at home?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Good question. So, look up the Mefarshim. What are you asking that question over here? So it does bring the whole mice. So the Gemara she wouldn't allow her. One day she got mixed up. She thought whether Rish Chodesh was 1 day or 2 days. She thought he wasn't going to be saying tachnun. She thought it was Rish Chodesh. Really, it wasn't. And he said tachnun. And when she saw that her husband said didn't feel sapayim, she said, "What do? You killed my brother." Later news came out that Rabbi Gamliel passed away.
What happened? I was just thinking about that today. What happened to Kippur? The whole day saying tachnun. How was he spared from that? Home today, I was thinking about that.
And I don't know, maybe a story I'm saying maybe it happened before Yom Kippur. Maybe Yom Kippur didn't happen yet. So he said, so the Gemara says, how did you know that he passed away? She says that all the sharim could be locked except for the shar of Eino. Someone's being harassed and being caused a lot of tsar. That shar, the Eibusher always answers, never ignores them. So because Rabbi Eliezer was adopted to the Eibusher, he didn't feel sapayim for all the tsar that he was being caused. That's why Rabbi Gamliel was punished.
Who was causing tsar?
Rabbi Gamliel was causing tsar to Rabbi Eliezer. So he brings out that was a ma'isa. So he brings out Dim Haya Mechivas Hatzvila.
Not what you're thinking about.
If Tasein and Nefil Sapayim was a Chivas Hatzvila, Chas v'Shalom Shahaya Tzadik Ahu Nimna Mimasha Yachivas. Chas v'Shalom, well, he would be held back from doing something as a Chayiv. Bavur Ishtay, just because of his wife. Even though Pshat Gemara was that she would start talking to him and distract him, until he forgot about it. If it was an obligation, he would have been very careful. He wouldn't be forget everything. Since being that we see from this Gemara, it's only a shus and a minhag. Some places, some people will say tachnun on certain days. Certain places they won't on certain days. Some places will say it, and about Hanukkah he brings the after as an argument. Some places will say tachnun on Hanukkah and put him. Some places wouldn't. So they're all different. They were different minhagim. So he says so it starts because only Mechil Sapayim is a minhag.
The whole thing is there are differences in minhag.
Yeah.
The Zohar says that the tachnun that we say, Rachum Echanu, if you don't say it b'kavana, you chayiv misa.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people actually they say Vayomer David El Gad. They say a different. The Rachum Echanu, Chotasi Lechonecha, that filo whatever that thing. If you don't say it b'kavana, you chayiv misa. And that's why many people are not makpi to fall all the way down. They don't want to make mamish nefila sapayim because it's not so simple.
So that's people skip it also. Most people won't say right. I want to make marketing for Kaddish.
So the base says it brings on a different pshat. Why did Rabbi Eliezer let his wife distract him? He says he brings on from the Talmud of the Rashba. It's not pshat that she didn't add that. He didn't actually say it. He got distracted. He said it later. But since he said it later, therefore the koyach of the Nefilas Sapayim wasn't as strong. Nefilas Sapayim needs to be dafka right after Shemona Esrei. That's where it has the strongest koyach. You push it off to later, so then it's not as powerful. The second man walking, the base says Reiks, Kosta the Talmud, the Rashba, the Hazav, the Gabi Uvdo, the Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkinus Haya, Hayimedaktik Rabbeinu Zal. He would be medayik from the story of Rabbi Eliezer that mikan she'ein ladavar bein tefillah l'tchina. You shouldn't get carried away in conversation between Shemona Esrei and Nefil Sapayim. And this is pshat why this one means that every day she wouldn't let him do tachnun. So you think that she was with him the whole entire day to make sure he didn't say tachnun? She was miskavet to be mafsekim from the tefillah, with other things. And even though he would say tachnun didn't feel fine later, but it wouldn't be so mekubal by the Eberstein.
So she caused him to be mafsek between Shemona and so that was enough.
There's another thing I was thinking. He was davening alone because he was in a prayer. By us, and we're davening and we have chazal socks. Is that a break already? From he's talking about runs from Shemona right into Tach.
I'm saying Shemona Chatzos. So Shas is not a hefsek. It's the same. It's the same teichem. Yeah, so that's the nice in the Gemara. So being that, and we feel so time is not. It's only Rosh and it's a minute. So the Shari Shiva Taka writes is machlekes whether the whole Sheva brachis do you not say tachnun, or is it only the day of the chasana? So he brings some placing to make up shot of that, even though. I think the Shabbat is on the 8th day. The 8th day, do you count the first day of the Chasana? The day of the Chasana does not count as the first one, or do you count for the next day since the Shabbat Brachos was only at was at night? There's a machlekes whether when do you count the Shabbat Brachos? Do you count from the Zman of the Chuppah, which was before Shkil? Is that the first day, or do you count from at night time later because you only said the Shabbat Brachos then? So he makes up pshat. So the Gabi, he brings some place to make up pshat. The Gabi Shabbat Brachos. You don't say Shabbat Brachos on the 8th day. From the chasana, because maybe you count from the day of the chuppah. But the Gabi Tachnun, it says you still don't say Tachnun on the last day. Why?
Really? We don't follow that. I think we should. We don't. Never heard it.
He says why? So yeah, he says of why. He says since Tachnun is only Rishus, Memela, and you have a machlekes when you have the Yom Yisupah, whether say Tachnun or not, you go to Kula. In the third Rambam, it says Nir Shetami K'meish Kasav Birchei Yosef. Birchei Yosef Reis Mishum Marim Olchim. The Imish Safik Yimneitim Al Paneim. Lo Yipum Yisafik. Why? Then it feels the Paim Rishus Ayin Sham. So he says, you see, there's a lot of Makkins we make called Tachnun. If you have a side, there's machlekes that place whether you're supposed to say Tachnun. Since it's a shus, he said. Birchei Yosef brings down that you should be making.
Now it makes sense that whenever you have an ergis, you don't say Tachnun. And don't make a fight. You should post this all over the place. It's no big deal.
It's like whatever they're talking about where they're.
Yeah, that's it.
And fine. So now,
That's Rashus. That's Rashus.
That's been at din.
meaning when there's machlekes on Peskim, they're talking about where Peskim argue if you're supposed to hear Shus, then you go to Kulon. Here the Shai's one, there's a machlekes Hagation, so I don't know. So fine. So let's get into the Milah. So by Milah, we don't by Bris Milah we don't say tachnun. Why? So there's a few different timing. And also based on this is nafkaminas. Where do you not say tachnun? Is it only in the place where they're doing the milah, or is it in the whole city? In the whole city you don't say tachnun when there's a bris milah. So the Shivali Alek in the fourth Maramakim, he says dafka in that house. He says b'yem hamilah einayflim al pneim b'knesses shesham hamilah. You don't in the shul where the milah is over there you don't say tachnun. Why? Mitzvahs milah kibu alei misimcha. Since mitzvahs milah were mekabel b'simcha.
So in other words, you don't even need one of the Bali simcha there. Just the place where they're going to make the bris later on.
Exactly.
If you come down and they're setting up for bris,
Right.
and there's nobody from the party, if you will, the bris party there.
Correct.
You still don't say
Well,
tachnun.
is that person going to be taking part of the?
Nobody. No,
Is that person who's davening isn't even going to be by the bris milah?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this is the Birchei Yosef. So soon, so they're going to argue about this.
Yeah. It's gonna be easier. The whole city doesn't.
And so this is Shivali Alek says exactly that town.
That's what I'm just interpreting what he's saying here. What
Yeah.
he's saying here is in this room where there will be a bris later, you don't say tachnun.
We'll see soon. The seventh Maramakim in Birchei Yosef is going to argue about this. What you're discussing.
I'm just interpreting what he's
L'chayra, yeah. L'chayra.
Over here it says in the city of Bechol Yesh basically is bris. That's it.
It doesn't
Yeah.
say if anybody is
That's the
there.
bottom line.
And so the Dachim Moshe brings down from Isaac Turner that there was a minhag that whenever there's a bris in the city, the whole city doesn't say tachnun.
I'm assuming that meant that when it was the whole city was a little village, you know, and
So here. The Dachim Moshe disagrees with this minhag. In the fifth Maramakim writes, "V'chein kasam harai b'psakav simin pei aleph." Talks over there legabi milah. Because the im ein hamilah b'beis haknesses. If the milah is not in the shul, yishlim matchina. V'chein hu aminag b'yireinu she'im yesh milah b'beis haknesses echad ein tchina b'beis haknesses hasheni. You say tachnun in a different beis haknesses. U'deloi keminag dura shemetzasim that she'im yesh milah be'ir ein tchina. That if there is a bris milah in that city, you don't say tachnun in the whole city. Hayel v'eliyahu b'la'ir. They say, what's the reason you don't say tachnun by bris milah? Because Eliyahu Navi, you have a chashav guess. Eliyahu Navi came to town. The whole town isn't saying tachnun.
Good enough. Who's
So
saying that?
so some. Oh, this is from Isaac Turner.
the affirmation says no.
Pick the Reb Lezer. Hello.
No. Pick the Rebbe Lezer Mistam is not Eliyahu b'la'ir. But whatever. There were people that have such minhagim. I think the most kosher. I'm saying there are people who are neg like that. Chaimna brings down the yesh mekayim shenegin. Yeah, he's shailot. So he brings down there are places which are neg. It's saying it's all totally on the minhag at the end of the day. Yeah. At the end of the day, even we're bringing down a bunch of machleksim, but you have to figure out the place we'll say. We said before it's totally on the minhag, so you have to figure out what the minhag of the makim is. And
Sometimes you could create a minute.
yeah.
But our Siddur clearly says it. If in this shul there will be a bris, you don't say that. Doesn't matter if it's not.
Yeah.
They asked the Rav once, they were fighting boys, tachnun, no tachnun. So the guy says, isn't there a minig? He says, the Rav says, yeah, that's the minig. So this is the gabi where you do the milah. The shayla, so the Shulchan Aruch is going with the we go with the Shibali Haleket. That is in the makim where the milah is. The shayla is, what about if the middle is in one place, but the father or the male or the sandik is davening in the shul? So does that shul also not say tachnun? So Lashon Shabbalia like it is the Afka the Makkah in the Beis HaKnesses where they're doing the Milah. So the Magen Avraham Taka says it's mashma that you don't. But he brings Pesachim that disagree. The 6th Maramaki, the Magen Avraham says, Mashma Sham, the Bizman HaKrirus, Shemalim Bebeis Acher, they would do it in the middle in a different house. Aymin Tachnun Bebeis HaKnesses. They would say Tachnun in the shul, even though they were davening over there, the father and the male. And he says, "Knesses hagdela kosav sheminhag kol hamakimis shafilu hamilu bebayis echad einefim bebeis haknesses shemispal Hashem bal abris." So the minhag, he said, the minhag is that still, even though the bris is not there, but if the bali abris, which is the avia ben, the sandik of the male, are davening in shul, you don't say tachnun. You don't say tachnun when they're
present.
Yeah,
One of the Bale and Simcha is present, you don't say tachnun. That's what he says, mashma. But
yeah.
the Tzarech Ian, you bring the Tzarech Ian because he sees in other places you don't say that.
Yeah. And a lot of Pesachim. So this is a lot of Pesachim bring down this minhag, and this is the minhag which is mekubal nowadays. So that's the Magen Avraham. So that's the guy. So even though the middle is not there, they're still going to do it. The Shaila came up. So Shaila is, what's the reason? What's the reason for saying the bris milah if only the father is over there? Not the. We said before the Shibali Aleka. The reason for bris milah is because it's misan. Since they're mekabel the mitzvah besimcha. Since the mitzvah bris milah is besimcha, therefore you don't say tachnun. So if the father's davening in the shul but the middle is not there, why do you not say tachnun? So the Pesachim, Birchei Yosef gets into this hakira that if the reason we don't say tachnun mitzad the simcha is that mitzad the simcha the mitzvah the milah, or is that since it's the simcha of the father, since it's a yemtiv for the father for the male and the sandik, therefore whenever they come to wherever they daven in the shul, it's their simcha, and everyone and every mitzad their simcha, everyone's. Yeah, just like a chassan, just like when a chassan comes, you don't say tachnun mitzad because it's his yomtiv. So maybe that's also the reason why you don't say tachnun like bris mitzad the simcha of the father. So that would have to be the reason for the minhag that we say tachnun. That we say tachnun even only if the father is in the shul. We don't say tachnun. Yeah, mitzad it's a simcha. But on the other hand, we also do the pashtus what it says that even if the sandik is not there, but it's a makkah in the bris milah, so it comes out that we're taking on both tainim. That we're saying mitzad the simcha. There are two reasons of it. Comes out that sai mitzad the simcha of the mitzvah that you're doing bris milah in this makkah, and also mitzad is the yomtiv of the father. So there's two tainim. The Birchei Yosef was being chayker. Which one is it? We take on both of them, but the Birchei Yosef was debating which one to take on. His shaila was if they have a bris milah in the shul, the bris milah is only happening later, and the father already daven. Could other minyanim in the shul also not say tachnun? I mean, there are people in the shul; they're not participating in the bris milah at all. Yeah, the shul, but the bris isn't happening now. It's going to happen. The father and the son, like everybody davening. It's going to happen in a half hour. There are people davening now, and they're going to be leaving before the bris happens. So they have no shaykhs with the bris. Do they also not say tachnun? Right, like in the Empire Shtival. Upstairs they have bris milahs, and downstairs every half hour is another minyan. Yeah, every half hour is another minyan. No one's going to. Half the people don't know there's a bris milah upstairs. So the Birchei Yosef says it's totally on this. If it's mitzad the simcha, if it's mitzad the simcha of the mitzvah, then you don't say tachnun because it's a makkah you're doing. It's the makkah of the bris milah. But if it's mitzad the simcha of the father because it's his yomtiv, so all these people aren't joining the simcha there, and they're not davening with a minyan of the male and the sandik. So he says then they would have to say tachnun. That's what the Birchei Yosef wants to say. He wants to say that you need to say tachnun unless you're davening with that minyan.
Even though you're not going to be there,
if you're mishtatif, you takar, but the bris milah isn't happening now. It didn't happen yet. It's going to happen in a half hour, and the sandik everyone already the first night is a shaykhis. and so this is in the 7th Maramaki. The Birchei Yosef writes. So before he wrote the shaylas, he says the the bris milah was in the azara, and the sandik, the father already davened, and the bris milah is going to be done later. She says, "Me'achet enasi sham hamilu lo yiplu al pneim." So it makes sense that in this room where the bris milah is being done, even though it's going to be done later, you shouldn't say tachnun. She says, why? Because mashma the psika lay the time of the einethan al pneim b'yim hamilah the kavi hamitzvahu. What's the reason we don't say tachnun on yim milah? It's mitzad the covet of the mitzvah. But lav says yakar lav yabin, but it's not just mitzad the covet of the father. So therefore, it doesn't matter if the father is there or not. V'hachi mashma nami mitshuvas ri huva bechidushi anshi shem savim mardechai seif yono. What does he write? He says, Tzal Sheni, anu neigim b'yim hamilah she'anu mispadlim betainis slichas and vidui. So if there's a milah on yim tainus, so they would say slichas and vidui, but the eimim tachnun they would skip, and hurach they would also skip. The mitzvah middle, we are makabel b'simcha. The chsiv sasa nesi alim rasecha. And the Gemara says it's talking about milah. So how did talu time al kavid hamitzvah shakibal nua b'simcha? So it seems from the lashon that's misad the simcha the bris milah, that's misad the milah, it's not misad the kavid of the father. But then he changes in the second paragraph. At the end, he goes on for like 2-3 pages, being raya that the bring raya that the simcha is the simcha of the father, that they will make a whole suuda for the father. It was the yom tov of the father. He ends off. He says, "Nirn hadvarim the yesod musad hach min hagon at this minhag they nefim al paneim b'yim hamilah hu lasi yakar lavi haben." He says no, that is hakim inside the covenant of the father hamisasik b'mitzvasim. So if so, Emer miata the ba'azara ashein avi haben v'siyas merachamui mispalin sham, where the father and his friends are not davening over there. Vein hamilah nasis achar siyam tfilas hazara, and it's not going to be done right after the minyan. The nikar davar leini hashemesh the ein la mispalin ba'azara shaychus basic exam. The people davening there have no shaychus with the bris milah. Roy hu lahabil tchinasam. So taka they should say tachnun because they don't have a shaychus with the minyan. So this is what the Birchei Yosef says, and but on the other hand, a lot of poskim disagree, and they talk right that it's misad the makim. It has to do with misad the makim of that it's misad the milah, and if the makim of the milah, even though the milah is not happening now, and the sandik and the father is not davening with the minyan, if you're davening in the place where they're doing the bris milah, then you could say tachnun. What's interesting, Chaim, he wrote the Kseis HaShulchan. So he has another sefer called Shneis Chaim, which is the same style sefer. And over there he writes he's machmir, and he paskins like the Birchei Yosef that you only say tachnun if the Avi Haben is davening with you, or if the Chassan, only if the Chassan, you only don't say tachnun if he's davening with you. Also, if the Chassan is davening with your minyan, now with a different minyan. So this was written in Tafresh and Aleph here at the Sefer. Tafresh Pehei, the Kseis HaShulchan is written. And over there he doesn't put in all the chumras. So if you look in the Sefer Shneis Chaim was written, right in Hagdama, was written for Sfardim. He wrote it, I guess he used to be a rough for Sfardim. He used to be in the Chadal.
Yeah.
So that Sefer he wrote for Sfardim. So he writes in the Hagdama that it's for the Psakim, for the Sfardim, Alpi, the Chidon, and the Birchei Yosef. So that makes sense why he's machmir over there. But in the Kseis HaShulchan, he writes that it's for Alpi Piski Admar Zakin and Self Tzedek and for Anash of Chabad. So there he doesn't mention these chumras. He just writes tam in the place where you don't. He writes plain that in the place where you don't. In the place where you're doing the milah, you don't say tachnun. He doesn't get into all these details. So so I think this is the minhag that everyone does. And for sure in Empire Stiefel, and that they don't say tachnun.
They say tachnun if they're...
So what is the minhag? You can simcha because of the father, or you can simcha because of the mitzvah?
So we take on both. We take on both. The Eishal Avram Butchacher, he writes that if the Avi Ben is overseas when his wife had a baby, and they're doing the bris milah and he's not around. So he says that in the shul where he's davening, they don't say tachnun because it's a yom tov for him. Even though he's not actually present by the bris milah, since it's yom tov for him, so the shul where he's davening, they don't say.
All this shows you how tachnun is not something that you can skip and not a problem.
Because it's a minhag.
Don't even blink an eye when you skip it.
It's totally on the minhag.
Can you go straight sometimes?
That was very straight. It was very straight.
Okay,
right. Just say Kaddish every day and that's it.
Shem Tov lost me.
And so next, so the other Sveikas, the other Shailas is also, I'm not. So some people Chesed Avram, they wanted to. What if the bris mil's in a different room? The shul has a few different rooms. The bris is happening in one room.
Spoke about it.
Right, that was the about in the Peskin. I didn't bring any Mikris. I spoke about it. In Empire Shtibel, the bris is upstairs. Everyone's happening downstairs.
That's considered one room. It's open.
That's right.
Are you saying says it's Nashim?
In 770, when there is a chosen, a chup and a chosen, the Yonan said like the wholesome side.
Okay. In that, so saying because it's Ezra's Nashim. I saw. I was sure Shev Levi even brings up the shaila. What if the kala is in Ezra's Nashim? Do you not say tachnun just like for the chassan?
Yeah,
so he says no.
You said no tachnun, right?
No, he says you say
Ladies
tachnun.
for the men.
No, for the men. The men
Say
say
about the woman. Wait.
What's
about the woman?
Okay. He's up Nebraker. You don't follow that.
So I don't know.
Nebraker, well.
So they're facing Chesed Avram and Smash also from the Eliyarabba that if the bris milah is in one room and people are having in a different room, then you don't say tachnun. And I'm not sure, but these are all telling the minhag, so I'm not sure what the minhag of. So
I asked Rabbi Nissim Mangel how he felt. He's a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
How does he feel Shabbos when people are trying to skip Abarachim? Abarachim basically is just asking Abish to avenge the blood of other people who spilled our blood in the past. He's a Holocaust survivor. What? Yeah, because I davened in a shul across the street before it became Beis Binyamin. There was a million basically Holocaust survivors, and we discussed in one Shabbos should say it or not. And two of the guys came up to me, see the number over here, never forget it. Every Shabbos, no matter what, always saying Abraham. For me, he asked me personally, asked him, what do you feel? So he said people like apparently don't understand what it means, otherwise they wouldn't skip it. What bothers him more is that people skip tachnun because they've understood what a Yeshua brings to them and how it saves them, what kind of obstacles in life it could save by saying tachnun. They would never want to skip it.
You know what Rabbi Miguel said to me? That he was a chassan and he didn't want he didn't want the Rebbe to miss tachnun, so he wouldn't go there.
The Trumas Hadeshin and the Taz, you look at it in Shulchan Aruch and Simon Kuf Lamed Aleph, the place can say that when there's a chassan in the shul, they say that he should go outside in order that people should be able to say tachnun. But I saw the Sefer Shulchan Atar, he says over there, he writes from the Kamarna, that he says over there he writes that no taka, there's a chassan should not come to shul because when on a yom you don't say tachnun, he says it's a good day. It's a good day. A lot of the keiches which are a lot of the not good yom which are sheilet are not sheilet on the day when you don't say tachnun. And
so you do come to shul or you don't come to shul?
So he wants to say over there, he was writing that you should come to shul.
You should.
But I'm just saying whatever. It's interesting, you look in the Shulchan Aruch, the Taz, the place you're saying that the chassan shouldn't come to shul, so people should be able to say tachnun.
So my uncle Shai, I mentioned this thing, he said a positive thing, that days at the simcha, you don't say tachnun, the Eibusher does it for you, so he takes care, does it the right way. On the
Shabbos Mavorchim Elu.
Shabbos Mavorchim, just like Shabbos
Mavorchim before Shana.
Yeah. Now we're talking about tachnun, days where you don't say
Yeah, it's the same idea. Very similar idea.
So the next shaila is fine. So in the shul where there's a bris milah, you don't say tachnun. Shaila's until when? They already did the bris. Till when? Like one time Empire Stiefel, people say there's a bris upstairs. They said they skipped tachnun. There's a bris upstairs. I went upstairs. They cleaned off. Everyone they were all gone. The bris was over. So till when do you not say tachnun? So they argue. So that Ramad is machlekes whether by mincha. If you're davening, for sure in the where the Avia ben the parents the father doesn't say tachnun, but in the shul the father's davening they do say tachnun. There's a machlekes. What if in the mukim of the where the child is, do you say tachnun? So there's a machlekes. The Alter brings it down. Yeah, in the Ve'ith Mar mukim. So the chozeh betzil shachar shmali nazatinik. Aval b'mincha afal pishem mispalin isal tinik emin tachnun. Later by mincha after the bris milah taka say tachnun. They bring goes weiter. Wie ich mir kein mis neigim shlili mar tachnun gam b'mincha kishmispalin mitzalatinik. When he davened by the child. Avisa knesa sneifim afal pishem bal hadbris mispalin sham.
Usually, when the Alter brings two things, you follow the second, no?
And
isn't it?
I'm saying also, but the first one is Bestam, right? The Cholze B'Tfil Shachar is the first one Alter writes Bestam. So there's so this is the shayla. So l'chayda, according to the first shita, that by bris and that by mincha, you don't say tachnun. So l'chayda, because
the baby's there, you don't say tachnun.
There's machlekes. So according to the first opinion, even if the baby's there, so l'chayda, once the bris milah was done, and for sure, if they left l'chayda, according to the first shita, you shouldn't be saying tachnun. And even according to the second shita, the whole heter is not because the child is still there. But if everyone left, there's no one around, the baby is not there anymore. L'chayda, how could he say tachnun?
But the first thing he says is that even if the baby is there, but by mincha you do say tachnun.
Yeah, that's the first opinion. The second opinion says you don't. Yeah, the second opinion Alter Rebbe brings says you don't. You don't say tachnun if you're. So if the baby is still there upstairs while they're doing the bris milah, then yeah, can sign. In other places say that you could be makel if they didn't finish the su'udah, that you could be makel. That other minyan don't need to say. So if you look at the shulchan, so what's the minhag? So look in the 9th Ma'amak in Shulchan Atar, he writes, in kavar nimla tinik hayim in haray leimar tachnun b'chol minyanim. If the bris milah already happens, you should say tachnun. After mispal minin acher b'makim shnimel hatinik kavar yimir tachnun. Even if you're not in a place where they did the bris milah, you should say tachnun. The ein haminhag came. The minhag is nicht that way.
No one listens to me.
He says if they already did the bris milah in the shul and you're davening in place in the room where they did the bris milah, if it already happened, you should say tachnun. But the ein haminhag came. He ends up. And
you didn't have to touch on the necessary Torah days.
Oh yeah, that's what's in the 10th.
That's a separate shear, and it's been very controversial.
So in the 10th Ma'amak in the Shivas Divrei Moshe, he says he asked one of the Admar Misatmer. I'm not sure. I don't think. Rav Yelish? Okay.
Yeah, it's Yelish. Divrei Moshe is the Britzina, right? Who is Divrei Moshe?
Halbash, I'm not sure.
The Britzina, no, isn't it?
Can say.
He
writes. He says he asked him, and he says taki. Even he says yeah, even if the bris is over, the whole day, all the minyan the shul, you don't say tachnun.
But they don't say tachnun every day.
Kedai Rabbi Yelish lismach ala b'shas adchak.
The 10 Ma'amakim kasha zechisi l'kavel pnei and modern hagayvid hagayin hakadosh hadmar misatmer shliton v'yesi begoyla ekev v'stalkas chak amur shakavet. He said, "V'shalti eschak shaylozu v'heshivani she'ein leimer tachnun ba'isay yoyim ba'isay beis medrash." That day in that beis medrash where they shahaya sham bris milah, you don't say tachnun. Af v'shekar of our bris, even though it happened.
Even mincha. That means even mincha.
Yeah.
So the our shit does say even mincha, you don't say tachnun. But this is all totally al minhagim. It's all tachnun is a rishus. You have to ask the Rav. You have to have a Rav in that place. What's the minhag? And there's a Geschmack Shtikl from Chaim. No, he has a siddur in the. He has a diak in the after by Lam Natseach. The Alter Rebbe writes about that when you don't say tachnun, you don't say Lam Natseach either. But the Alter Rebbe writes it interesting. He says that minhag sfard shebechol yom, and it's a minhag in sfard that bechol yom sheimei mei tachnun fil sabayim ein Lam Natseach. You don't say Lam Natseach. It's a machlekes. So he says minhag sfard. So Chaim his father. So this is whatever. This is a new Indian, not like Hemshech we were saying before. His father, what's pshat minhag sfard? So he says because the Alter Rebbe didn't write one of these we don't say tachnun is Yutas Kislev. And maybe the Alter Rebbe is not Anivos, he didn't want to write it in the Siddur. He don't say tachnun on Yutas Kislev, but also he didn't want to say or give a list of all these we don't say tachnun and not write Yutas Kislev until they mashma that we say tachnun Yutas Kislev. So therefore Alter Rebbe wrote minhag sfard. Minhag sfard is on these days you don't say tachnun, but can't bring a raya that in Chabad we're not going to say tachnun on Yutas Kislev. So in the 11th Ma'amakim it says V'yishla heriksas mashkas v'admer b'sidr k'idon lam naseach yanchal. He says minhag sfardim shebechol yom chulu. The madua hesker kan shezeh minhag sfardim. Why does it say it's minhag sfardim? Masha ein darkei l'sayim koiri hadinim minhagim shebesidr. It usually doesn't give you right like this in the siddur. It says v'karav ve'inay leimer. It's very close to me to say leimer tamozeh. If Yishlei nizkar kan yutas kislev shu yomtev la'anash kavu ala deiris miyaz yasa an merzal mimasari bepeterberg yutas kislev taf kafun tes. The Alter Rebbe didn't write in the siddur that in yutas kislev you don't say tachnun. They ain't even by tachnun v'amaseach. Bevadi nikva yimte baskamas admazal. Sure, the Alter Rebbe is masking that it's a yomtiv and you don't say tachnun. V'hasidur nitvas b'pamachas b'shnas tavkov samach gimel. It was the first time it was printed. Ein bagdama and shara kedel. V'hayatzarech limneis gam yatas kislei bin hayam she'imim tachnun v'amaseach. He should have said yatas kislei. V'loi rasa admazal haskidei mipnei goda navas nusay. So the nivas he didn't run the right hand. V'chtei shleitei ha'ashmata shal yatas kislei shum mashmos she'imim bei tachnun. In order that there shouldn't be any mashmos that you do say tachnun yatas kislei. Hektin tchila minhag svardim. That this is the minhag svardim. The meila ine dai klar masha heshmi yitas kislev. Shein isn't minhag svardim yos. So anyway, so you can't bring your right that it is mashmit. That you're mashmit yitas kislev because it's not a minhag by svardim. Yeah. So keep to it, yeah.
Koya, we have a minion here. Koya mevorach. Vayamos bring a kois. A kois.
I'm called the Alter Rebbe's.
Zalach and Shulchan Sag it.
Being called, they was called the
was the Sahari.
That's the whole thing about the Alter Rebbe's.
And they called it Nusachari.
At that time, it was called